Hello and welcome to another edition of Cranky Gun Reviews. I'm out here on this beautiful 40-degree day. It's March 13th and I'm going to do a little bit of shooting today. I have a whole bunch of videos I'm going to be posting, small increments. I'm going to try to break them up so I don't have too much content. I'm going to start off by shooting all of my Ruger American rifles. And one of them you guys have never seen on my channel before because I just picked it up the other day. So I have my Ruger American Rimfire Predator, which is the green stock 22 long rifle, uses the 10/22 magazines. You saw that one in a couple previous videos. I have my Ruger American Ranch in 7.62x39, which is the tan stock, uses mini 30 mags, sorry. And the magazines I have are all Pro Mag, so they're not the greatest. They can be a little bit sticky on the first couple rounds, but they still work and they were cheap. Then I have my Ruger American Predator in 223, which is a 22-inch long barrel shooting 223, and that one uses AR-15 mags, which is awesome to be able to use those magazines. And the newest one that I have today, it's a 450 Bushmaster. Big bore. So I was out looking, I wanted to get a longer range shooting, or a bigger caliber, I should say. Maybe not longer range, because I really only shoot out to about 200 most of the time anyway. My range here is only 100 yards. And I was looking for a 308. I was really looking for the Ruger American Predator in 308, and one shop locally had one. They wanted 500 bucks plus tax. It's cheaper elsewhere, so I went to another shop. They had the 308 standard model in the black stock with the 22-inch barrel, but I like the shortened versions of those better with either the 16.5 or the 18-inch barrel. They're just a little bit more handy. So when I went to the second shop, which is Old Glory Guns and Ammo, highly recommend checking them out if you're ever in southern New Hampshire. Great shop. They had the 308 in a 22-inch long barrel with a black stock. They had a 7mm 08 in a black stock 22-inch long barrel. I think they had a 243 Winchester, and then they had the 450 Bushmaster. And of course the 450 Bushmaster, because the one they had in stock was the ranch rifle, so it's a 16.5-inch barrel. It comes with a factory muzzle brake on it, which I love muzzle brakes anyway. I know they're loud and annoying to everybody else, but I don't have a suppressor, and if I have a threaded barrel, I'm putting a muzzle brake on my rifle. So that's what I ended up getting, 450 Bushmaster. Price was less than the 308 at the other store. The ammo's a little bit pricey, but half of the reason I went with the 450 Bushmaster, I went from the gun rack over to the wall where the ammunition was. The 7.6251 or 308 ammo was about $52 a box, and the 450 Bushmaster, same size box, 20 rounds, was only 33 bucks. Now, $33 for 20 rounds, it's about $1.65 a round. It's still pretty stinking expensive, but it's cheaper than 308 right now. Not as many people shoot the 458 Bushmaster, so hopefully I'll be able to still find some ammo once in a while. I haven't sighted it in yet, so I'm going to try to sight it in at about 25 yards and then take it out to 50 and 100. I only brought 20 rounds with me, so I'm hoping I can get it sighted in within 20 rounds. So let's go ahead and skip ahead. I'm going to grab the 458 Bushmaster first. That's what we're going to start the video off with. All right, so this is the 450 Bushmaster. The rounds in this thing are absolutely massive. I mean, so that's a 450 Bushmaster. If you look at it next to a 9mm pistol round, I mean, these things are absolutely massive. This is a 300 grain, kind of a hollow tip soft point. So again, I've never sighted this thing in. I actually only had a 22 Magnum Rimfire scope. I may destroy the scope with recoil, I'm not sure, but that's all I had right now, so that's what I'm going to use. Yes, it's not the prudent thing to do. I should have got the right scope, or I should have pulled the red dot off of my 1022 takedown, but I have no idea really ballistically how these work compared to a 22 Rimfire. I'm hoping it'll at least get me in the ballpark, because like I said, I brought one box of ammo, 20 rounds, and if I can't get it sighted in 20 rounds, I'm going to have an issue. So this scope originally was on 1022, had high scope rings, totally set up wrong for this rifle. I have no idea if it's going to fall apart or not, but we're going to go ahead and give this thing a try. So this is the first shot out of the 450 Bushmaster. I'm glad you came along with me to see this. Let's see how she does. I'm just trying at 25 yards to see if I can hit anything at all. Set up all wrong. Let's see. Holy crap, that sucker kick. Because it's loud and the muzzle blast is huge. Now, I have heard some people say that these magazines kind of suck, and I can say I agree with that. The loading ramp on this thing is really steep, and in the front of the magazine there's like 1/4 of an inch. You can kind of stick your finger in the front of this thing, so the round has to come out, hit the edge of the magazine, and then tip into the loading gate. Not really the best design in the world. I think these are the same magazines they use in the 308. So you kind of like have to push the round into the chamber, pull the bolt back, and then push it in again. Maybe I'm just doing something wrong, but I think I hit my target at 25, so I'm going to try going to 50 and see if I can hit it again. And I'm trying to get the muzzle brake in the picture here so you guys can see it if there's a big muzzle blast. But all right, here we go, 50 yards. But just trying to dial this thing in. It kicks quite a bit. I'm not a wimp when it comes to shooting. I like Mosin Nagants and things like that. I would say this kicks about as much as a Mosin Nagant. So for those of you that have shot a Mosin Nagant, that's kind of how this thing feels. Again, the rounds are huge. Doesn't feed very well. Really doesn't feed very well. Let's see if I can just, no, it's not so easy. There we go. All right, one more here. I think I'm on paper. I think I hit the shoulder of my silhouette target, so I'm gonna take another shot. Hopefully the camera doesn't fall over this time. Dang. Bullseye. Holy crap. That muzzle blast is so insane, the percussion is so insane that it knocked over everything inside my little shooting box here. So I'm gonna close this up. Third shot, bullseye, dead center at 50 yards in that target. It only took 3 shots to sight it in. Luckily I had this zeroed for a 22 Magnum. I guess 22 Magnum is pretty close in the ballistics, maybe at 50 yards to what this is. I can definitely tell. I'm glad I didn't bring more than 20 rounds because this thing hurts. Like, it's got some kick to it. I'll probably end up zeroing this in at 100. And I'm gonna go ahead and put one in the chamber to start. Put it on safe, put my magazine in here. All right, back out at 50 yards. Again, I hope you guys can see the muzzle blast out of this thing. It is just, it's massive. It was knocking stuff over and, oops, I already loaded there. So let's go another 3 at 50. It's dead on at 50 yards. I mean, dead on. Well, she sighted in at 50 yards pretty good. I'm not sure if, I know I pulled a couple of those rounds a little bit. When I take my time and breathe, I actually got a few of them right in the bullseye. So I'm right in the ballpark at 50 yards. So I'm not exactly sure. I think at 100 yards, the trajectory is still going up a little bit. So I'm gonna try to zero it in at 100, and then I'll come back to 50 if I have enough rounds left to see where I'm at relative to both targets. This particular scope, because it's for a 22 Magnum, it's only a fixed 4-power scope, and it just has a standard crosshair. It doesn't have any mil dots, so I'm kind of guessing where I need to go. I'm betting at 100 yards, I'll have to aim a little bit low. So that's where I'm going to start off, aiming at the bottom of my silhouette target. And I kind of figured out how to get the rounds in the chamber. You kind of have to like pull the bolt all the way back, push it halfway forward, pull it back, and then push it forward again, and it'll smoothly put those rounds in the chamber. So let's see how I can do here now at 100 yards. And I keep knocking my tripod over because it's on the table next to me, and the muzzle blast out of this thing is just massive. So hopefully I don't burn my phone up or something. That is my only phone right now, and it's also my camera. So let's go to 100 and see how I do at 100. Fixed 4-power scope, aiming at the bottom of my silhouette. Point of aim, point of impact was pretty dead on. I really don't like how these rounds load. They're not the best. All right, let's take another one. Let's try a little bit better. I'm going to aim for the center this time and see if I hit it, because basically point of aim, point of impact at 100 was the same. Yeah.
I've never even fired that thing.
The Magnum?
Yeah.
Whited off. Oh, popped off?
Yeah, like the jacket before they sort of run
Really?
them off, because that's a
Okay.
shoots like, boom, boom, boom. Is that?